Good evening. Hi, everyone. My name is Lucian Maricas. I represent Visa today. To be more precise, Visa Direct. I represent Visa Direct. I lead the sales and solutioning team for Visa Direct in Europe for FIs. It's my first time here today at BAFT, and I have to tell you that I'm delighted to be here. And I'm really impressed about the quality of the topics and the thought leadership I've seen today and probably tomorrow. Organizers save the best for the last. Now, joking aside, I know this is the last session that separates us from drinks and dinner. So bear with me. I promise to finish on time. How much time do I still have now? Okay, 20, 25 minutes. So we can all enjoy drinks afterwards. Besides, I have a very interesting topic dear to me and I think to all of us here in the session. How we can navigate global payments and how FIs can leverage the power of a network for cross-border money movement. I'll jump on disclosures. So there are 4 items on the agenda I would like to touch on today. One is to talk about the global opportunity on cross-border money movement. The second is to touch on trends and challenges FIs have to face in this competitive landscape. Number 3 on the agenda to discuss a bit about the G20 efforts, but I'm not going to spend too much on this topic because we had a panel earlier where the things were discussed at length. And last, I'll finish with how FIs can leverage the power of the Visa network for for cross-border money movement. So let's dive in with the first topic. What is the opportunity in the global money movement? Now, globally, payments prove to be remarkably resilient despite some regional headwinds. In 2022 alone, the cross-border money movement generated about $260 billion in revenue, and the annual growth was about 17%, surpassing the normal growth in payments, which is about 11%. And this shows that there is tremendous opportunity and the world we are living in is very interconnected. Today, in this money movement, we have consumers sending funds to other consumers, consumers sending funds to businesses, businesses paying consumers and other businesses, and also more recently, we have governments paying consumers and governments paying businesses. So this 260 billion revenue was underpinned by total value of payments of about $150 trillion. Now this $150 trillion, it's an astronomical amount. It's very difficult for humans to comprehend. So I used AI, we had a topic on AI, and I asked ChatGPT to help me understand what does it mean, 150 trillion. So ChatGPT gave me 2 answers. One was, well, Lucian, in 2018, global economy was in the value of about 84 trillion. So this is kind of a double the size of that. And I pushed ChatGPT further, like, okay, help me visualize this. And this is the answer that ChatGPT gave me. Imagine you have $1 bills. You put it one on top of each other. What you have is a stack of bills expanding well in the space, 10 million miles away in the space, and this is surpassing multiple times the distance between Earth and the Moon. Now, I still, cannot understand it, but I can work with that. So this is the opportunity we have in this global money movement space. And this opportunity will continue to be stimulated by the innovation and by the instant payments. Okay, moving on. So we've seen the opportunity, we've seen the value of money movement. let's see what are the challenges the FIs and in general PSPs are facing in this space. But first, let's start with the trends. Trends are shaped in general by consumer behavior, by regulation, by innovation, but also by geopolitical factors. One of the trends we've seen is the on-demand economy. Companies like Uber, companies like Amazon, DoorDash, Deliveroo, they change the work we live and we work. People now expect their money to move the same speed of their email, of text messages. But the reality is that we know it doesn't happen like this. 1 out of 4 employees in the US are employed in one way or another in the gig economy. And this means that they can work whenever they want. They can work after hours. They can work during the weekend. And they also expect to be paid multiple times, not just once or twice a month. So banks have and FIs have to cope with this demand. Another trend we have seen is the one of marketplaces. In 2019, 60% of the online sales were attributed to marketplaces. 20% of those sales are cross-border sales, which means now banks have to serve these marketplaces to be able to pay their cross-border providers. Another trend is the one of remittances. There are countries with huge populations like China, Philippines, Mexico, Egypt, now Ukraine. And those people really rely on remittances. And the advent of the fintechs and startups, it's something that banks have to think on because these startups are catering for these demands. Per the World Bank, about 800 million people really rely every month on remittances. And another trend we have seen recently is the advent of global digital wallets. We've seen them popping up in AP, in Africa, in LAC. So now, essentially, they brought into this ecosystem about 2 billion endpoints, 2 billion consumers or people who previously were unreachable or unbanked. Again, this is something that banks will have to cater for in the next years or so. So we've seen the trends. Let's talk a bit about challenges, because we have lots of challenges in this space. What we hear from our clients is that there are challenges when it comes to complexity of the ecosystem, fragmentation. There are more than 60 countries worldwide now that are building RTPs, local RTPs. And we heard earlier that there is this ambition for countries and for RTPs to interconnect, but it's quite challenging because they come with different set of APIs, different rules on a settlement, different standards. So it's not easy to do this interconnectivity. Another challenge is the slow of the transaction speed. Lack of security and risk controls. AML it's quite a thing in this highly regulated space. Customer demands for faster payments is another challenge. And also new market entrants. Now we have lots of fintechs and startups that are popping up, and they pledge to solve certain challenges in the space area. And now consumers and corporates and SMEs, they have diversity to choose from. They can do their payment operations with these companies, not necessarily with banks. So these are the main challenges in the cross-border money movement. I want to spend a bit of time talking about costs. We've seen that it's complicated, and there are lots of RTPs, lots of schemes around, and this, the consequence of this complexity is cost. The more intermediaries you have, the more costly the transaction is. Now, this is what you are seeing here is it's part of the World Bank data report, and it shows the average cost for $200 consumer remittance in Q3 2022, so almost a year and a half. And it shows that sending funds by banks, it's very expensive. It's almost 7% of the value of transaction I send. At the bottom, you have mobile money, which are the digital wallets. And here, you know, it's more expensive for banks because there are legacy costs, legacy with infrastructure, AML costs, regulation costs, infrastructure costs. There are intermediary fees, FX-related costs. So going forward, this is something that banks have to think about if they want still to remain competitive in this cross-border remittance space. Another topic I want to talk about, initially I wanted to remove this slide because it was quite sensitive, but then I changed my mind and I put it back. Financial crime is quite a challenge for us in the industry. What you are seeing are various events in the last 15 years, so I'm not going to go into details. I'm going to just say two things here. In 2020, 18 million American consumers were defrauded on RTP network. 18 million, it's the size of a mid-sized country in Europe, so it's huge. And in average, in the last 10 years, so every year in average, the amount paid by the industry in fines due to failing AML was $3.5 billion. That's huge. And this adds to the cost of transactions. Next topic is on G20 country efforts and their goals for 2027 and 2030. But as I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because we had the panel before. But I'm going to say just two things which kind of relates to the topics I've showed you previously. One is on speed. So by 2027, one goal regarding speed is to have 75% of these transactions happening in 1 hour and the rest of 25% in 1 day. And in terms of average cost, we saw earlier that sending funds via banks is very expensive. The pledge from G20 nation is to decrease this cost, especially on the remitters, to maximum or average of 3% per transaction. So we still have about 6 years to go. Now we are at 7, we still have some time to fix it. All right, so we've seen the opportunity on cross-border. We discussed about trends, challenges, G20 goals. Let's now talk about how partnering with a network can help FIs streamline some deficiencies in moving money cross-border. We have in the room many bankers, okay? And you are working for banks that are in payments. And you know that running payments, even for a financial institution, can be very challenging and very hard. And that's because we've seen earlier the complexities of this ecosystem, the fragmentation. Today, probably you're running multiple endpoints. You have to comply with certain regulation. You have to be connected to SEPA, SEPA Instant, SWIFT. You have also endpoints on card rails. So it's very complicated. Now there is discussion for these RTPs to interconnect, but as I said, they come with different standards, different rules, different set of APIs. It's not easy to integrate. Our vision at Visa is to take this, the right side of the presentation, and simplify it into the left side. to have one connectivity to a network partner, and you focus best on what you know best. You focus on your customers, on user experience, and let the payment be dealt by the experts. We can deliver the transaction irrespective of the countries, irrespective of the currency, and we connect the transaction to the local RTPs or local ACHs. Visa Direct is Visa's platform for moving money cross-border. Essentially, it enables the flow of billions of funds to billions of endpoints. And through these platforms, organizations can send funds, can receive and send funds for their customers domestically and cross-border through a variety of endpoints, card and non-card. When I say non-card, I refer to bank accounts and wallets. It doesn't work. I think I'm stuck. All right, thank you. So when trying to partner with a network to help moving money cross-border, there are 4 things we recommend you to look for. One is reach. You have to ask yourself, is this partner I'm going to work with able to provide me the reach I need? With Visa Direct, we can reach 200 countries and territories. So we provide an extensive reach to our clients. A second element is, or criteria when choosing a partner or a network partner, is speed. I can tell you that we can do real-time payments in more than 40 countries. We can do real-time payments on wallets and also on card rails. Security is another element, another criteria when selecting a partner. Visa is the most trusted payment brand in the world, and we have more than 60 years of experience accumulated in payments to merchants. So the platform itself embeds all the experience we have gathered during the years. And another important criteria when selecting a partner is scale. Scale in the sense that what are the additional value-added services that my partner can offer here? And I'm thinking here about tokenization, authentication services. I'm talking about aliasing services, FX services, settlement services, consultancy services, all these things that help FIs and PSPs to scale. Next slide, please. Thank you. Just 4 more minutes to go, I see here. This is the network coverage of the Visa Direct platform. We have in total, we have a reach of about 8.5 billion endpoints, and this includes cards, accounts, and wallets. We have about, we can send funds to more than 3 billion cards, more than 3 billion accounts, and 2.5 billion digital wallets. The connection is flexible. Our clients can connect via SWIFT, via API, SFTP, even ISO card standard transactions. And also we have a dedicated treasury function, and everything is built with a robust and compliance controls and also we have lots of tools that our clients can use to mitigate risk on this platform. Next up, okay. I keep on forgetting that doesn't work. So a bit of history about the platform. We started this journey in 2017. Initially, we started with just 2 use cases, P2P and gaming. And then over the years, we added more use cases. Now we have about 65 use cases. We added gigging economy payments, insurance payouts, pensions payouts, remittances, government payouts, marketplaces payouts, VAT refunds payouts, account to account. In a couple of years ago, we have acquired a company called Earthport to help us pushing funds to bank accounts. And then we added FX services and collection services, and more recently, we added open banking services. All in all, last year alone, we had 7.5 billion transactions worldwide. As I said, we have a reach in more than 200 countries and territories. Next one, please. So this is my last slide. On this one, I wanted to summarize the FI's benefits across card, account, and wallets. For cards, the sending funds to cards, we have this availability and reach in about 190 countries and territories. For account in 90 countries and wallet in 50 countries. With Visa Direct, our clients can reach bank and unbanked populations. There is optionality on FX. We can provide FX. The FX could be on spot rate or 24-hour rate. Pre-funding is also available. And also we have consultancy services that can help our clients navigate the platform, but also the regulatory environment in various countries. That was the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. If there is one thing I would like you to remind it is that when you want to partner with a network for moving money cross-border, remember that there are 4 things to look for: scale, security, speed, and what was the 4th one? Reach. Thank you so much. And remember that Visa Direct can successfully fulfill all of them. Can we take some questions now? Okay. So is Visa Direct and Visa B2B Connect an alternative to SWIFT and corresponding banking, since Visa has liquidity in multiple countries? I have Patrick here with me, who is leading B2B Connect. So we complement corresponding banking. Okay, we actually work with corresponding banking. But we believe that for certain destinations, certain countries, currencies, we can bring efficiencies. Our clients use both corporate corresponding banking, but also Visa Direct. I hope this answered your question. How many banks are actively using Visa Direct? I can't give you the number, but there are hundreds of banks using Visa Direct worldwide. You mentioned API as a connection method. What use case exists for FIs making cross-border transactions via APIs instead of SWIFT network? Well, I can give you some examples. So imagine it's not an imagine, it's happening today. We have clients, big financial institutions that are making transactions in some currencies or destinations that they deem more exotic. So that's an example to use us. Another example is pension payouts, or we have government entities, but also banks doing pension payouts in local currencies because we have the ability to pay in the local currency. So that's another example for banks to use the APIs to make cross-border transactions via Visa Direct. Hope this answered the question. How much time can be saved for cross-border payment using Visa Direct compared to normal cross-border payment through wire transfer? It's a very good question. We are connected. We have the ability to send real-time payments in almost 40 countries. We are connected to 11 local RTPs. We are connected to 21 RTGSs. So it depends on the destination. If there is a RTP in the beneficiary country, yeah, we can deliver that real time. I think this was the last question. Okay, thank you so much.